right, so we will go ahead and get started. Hi, my name is Carrie Henches. I work on the University of Life SciTech campus for University of Life. And today we've got our first kickoff celebration for homecoming. We've got two great presentations, starting with Tim Kissler and then moving to Truett Young. We'll hear about the plan for the University Innovation Town Center project. So Tim, if you'd like to kick us off, that would be great.
Okay, super. I'm Tim Kissler. I'm with Castlerock Partners. We're a real estate development company. We have the 23.75 acre parcel of land, which should be in your screen in kind of like a reddish color, under contract to acquire it from Prince William County. The county itself owns it. We are rezoning the property under the name of Innovation Development LLC. That's the entity that we created to acquire the property. So for those of you in finance or in the real estate program, it's a special purpose entity specifically for that purpose. As you can see on this plan, this is Prince William County Parkway. North is straight up on this plan. Here's the University Boulevard, the Hilton Performing Arts Center, Beacon Hall, and then right there's the Freedom Aquatic Center. So most of you, I'm sure, are quite familiar with it, but just orientating. So our plan is first and foremost focused on student housing. This is the overall site plan, and so to orient Prince William Parkway across the bottom, University Boulevard on the right-hand side. We will construct this, it looks east-west on this plan, but north is to the left. So that road, which will then carry on into the Stanley Martin project, which is adjacent to us, and that's what Truett will be talking about. We're also going to construct this road, which the county wants to call Hilton Boulevard, after the Hilton Performing Arts Center, and so that's in the works, and it will go on, even though this plan doesn't show it. It'll go on and connect to George Mason Circle, right at the kind of like the center of the elliptical sidewalk that is in front of the Performing Arts Center and Mumbles. So this is primarily housing. We've got retail on the first floor. We're going to start over here with this building and this building. It can be phased or it can go all as one. So we're really waiting on George Mason's master plan that's being conducted under Carol Kissel's office, and because that'll help us know how many students are coming and also what the DNA of the students are, i.e. what year they are, or are they graduate students, and what percentage. So we're kind of flexible right now with exactly what we're going to build. This is a 3D perspective. The university's here in the upper right corner of the image. So we've got a series of buildings that are residential wrapping parking structures. We're 100% garage parking, above grade parking. And so this darker gray is parking structure, and then it's got residential wrapping around it. So we call that a 5-story wrap in the real estate world. So this farm would be 100% housing with tons of amenity space in it. And then this is a greenway that we're working on. And that'll be a major feature. Here's another view. This is looking at it from the university. And then to kind of explain the component parts, orange is retail, yellow is residential, gray is parking structure. And so this is the ground floor of the entire project. So as you can see, this building, which is closest to the Hilton Performing Arts Center, which is right over here, just off the screen, we want to have a heavy retail focus right next to the university. So this will be basically restaurants, um, service shops, maybe some entertainment. We want to draw the pedestrian traffic down the boulevard and then have them come around the corner. So again, lots of retail turning around the corner. So this is our retail boulevard. Hopefully, when Truett shows his plan, he'll have matching retail on the other side of the street. We want this to be the front door, and this is the lively spot. The green space, I think, is going to be a place where people hang out a lot, but it's not going to be the retail focus. Um, in this particular location, we show a pretty deep space. There we're targeting a grocery store, Trader Joe's, something along those lines, smaller size grocery store where people can get food and drinks and all the other good stuff that they have. And then uh, back over here, we've got office space. That's in the future. So yellow first floor, purple is amenity space, and that's common area for students or the residents of that particular building. This next screen takes you up one level, and so if you look at this gray area, you wonder why that's gray. Well, retail space is taller than residential space, so one floor residential, will be 12 feet, whereas retail will be 18, 20 feet. So you're still in the middle of that floor. So you can see that above all the retail is, well, then that grocery store would have higher space. You start getting into several levels of residential. So here's levels 3 and 4, and then there's level 5, and then all these other buildings are 5-story buildings, so they stop, but these ones we're planning on taller buildings, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-story buildings. The current plan shows 7. So cross sections here, first couple of buildings, and then here's buildings D, E, F, G, H. I'm sure that it's probably like a little bit too small for you to really see what's going on. So I'll move on to imagery. We want to create some really cool space. Our architects is BK Group out of Minneapolis. They have an office in Georgetown also. They specialize in student housing. They've done a ton of it, everywhere from University of Minnesota to Auburn University. And they are really good at integrating retail into the first floor, and they're really good at amenity space. So this is representative of the type of stuff that we want to create here. We want sidewalks that are wide and accessible, and we want outdoor seating area in front of the restaurants. We want a lot of benches. We want to make it so that people feel comfortable with hanging out, getting ice cream and sitting down, reading a book. Of course, we'll have Wi-Fi everywhere, so you'll be able to go online and do your thing. The residential space, even when we've got 2 residential buildings facing each other, there'll be nice amenity space, outdoor amenity space in between. These are all existing projects that BKD has taken from that help me with imagery. We also will have pools at each building, swimming pools. So this, if you can see this is an outdoor seating area next to a pool. And Ron Carmichael's on, he's saying, no, we don't want you to have a pool, we want you to use Freedom Aquatic Center. Different kind of pool. These are meet and greet pools. It's a social center. This particular one on the right, as you can see, is on top of a building. So it is on top of a parking structure. And so obviously will be private to the students themselves, or the residents of that particular building, and also very cool. So this is a pool and hot tub, and it looks like you could do some laps, but more than likely you'd go over to Freedom to get your exercise. And that's pretty much my presentation. So I don't see any questions up, but if anybody has any, feel free. If not, I will turn it over to Truett to have him tell you about his project.
Well, I guess if there are no questions, it'll go to me. I apologize. My camera's decided it's not working today, so you'll have to bear with me as not actually seeing me, but I can share my screen and we can talk through the presentation for the Innovation Town Center section of the project we're building or developing. My name is Truett Young. I'm the Vice President of Land for Stanley Martin Homes, primarily our Northern Virginia operations group, which is based out of Chantilly, but I'm a resident of Prince William County and do a lot of work here daily. So we are the contract purchaser and developer for what is called the MJV property, and I'll share my screen really quickly.
Yeah. I'll mute. Sorry.
Oh, there's a question for you, Tim, about any retailers being committed. I don't know if you want to circle back to that.
The question is, do we have any retailers committed at this point? No, we're way too early in the stage. We're seeking rezoning. As soon as we've got rezoning, we know exactly what we've got, then we'll hire a retail crew and we'll get started on finding actual tenants. I'll go back on mute, Truett.
Great. So that should be my screen. Can everybody see my screen okay?
Yes, thank you, Truett.
Excellent. So as I mentioned, we are the contract purchaser for the MJV property, which, to orient you, the George Mason campus is over in this corner. This is the Hilton Performing Arts Center. This is Beacon Hall. This is the area that Tim just walked you through for the University Center project. We are developing from the Spine Road, as we mentioned it earlier, as being Hilton Boulevard, out to Wellington Road and everything in between. So I'll walk everybody through the different components of the project. You know, the town center has changed slightly just based on feedback from Prince William County and the planners at George Mason as they've gone through their process, just figuring out what worked and what didn't work. But generally, we're creating a large mixed-use development that will have a town center that's supported by George Mason University, as well as the other uses inside the innovation community, as well as a significant residential component that would service the area from a for sale standpoint. We do have some rental, but mainly our product is townhouses and 2-over-2 stacked townhouse condominiums. We do have a multifamily component in the middle, and we have a retail commercial center here, as well as a flex space, what they call, I guess, flex tech office component along Wellington Road, just because that seems to fit best in that area. As we walk through it, as I was mentioning, we've got our major components are the town center piece, which is the piece that's closest to George Mason, the residential component, which is in the center of the property, and the amenities that are associated with both of those, and then the commercial piece along Wellington Road, which is mainly, they call it flex tech. From a transportation standpoint, based on the small area plan that was approved by Prince William County at the end of last year, it was extraordinarily important that, because of the changes that are coming to Prince William County Parkway and the intersections of Wellington Road, the intersection of University Boulevard, and the intersection of Sudley Manor Drive, that we think through thoroughly how we're going to move traffic through our project to make sure that one, people can get through, unimpeded, but also, it becomes it's easy to get in and out of, and it's easy. It creates kind of what I've heard is mentioned as a new front door for the Mason campus. So in theory, we would have a large spine road down the middle of the community that would connect with Hilton Boulevard, or whatever it's going to be called now at some point in the future, to Prince William Parkway. So you've got this interaction with the Mason campus here, but also a connection to Wellington Road out here and over here. So and eventually there'll be a future connection based on the small area plan to these parcels that they develop in the future. We have amenities and open spaces program throughout the community. As you may be aware, there's a environmental feature that goes through the middle of our property here along the backside of Beacon Hall, which we would like to, rather than we don't want to ignore. We actually want to create that and turn that into an amenity. So we've created a trail system around it. Some of our amenity space up here with our pool and clubhouse for our community and our natural, our natural play areas there, as well as gathering spaces throughout the residential component. But more focused is the interaction of the town center with Mason, as we are going to be the town center is only going to be viable if Mason, if it's supported by the Mason campus. And as Mason grows, we want the town center to grow, but we want to make sure that we are providing the amenities, the retail, the shopping, the dining that is suitable for the campus use. So throughout the town center, this has been changed slightly, as I mentioned, which we'll talk a little bit more in a few minutes, but you've got a center core area here that is your main gathering space, whether it be outdoor movies or bike lanes and parking areas and gathering spaces, as well as, we've created space over here, which we'll talk about. You want plaza areas, you want people to be able to walk, you want people to be able to interact, but also kind of go in, grab a cup of coffee, grab some lunch, grab dinner. So that's what that space is mainly for. Throughout the residential component of the project, there's an amenity package that supports the residents of the community, but also ties the community into what is already existing in George Mason's campus. Obviously, there's as you guys are aware, there's a significant trail system network and lots of open space. And we want to make sure that as we're developing something that works with what is already going on and existing at the campus. I mentioned that the layout of our town center, this is Beacon Hall. This is a revised layout based on feedback from, I think, Dumont Jenks and the county. This is the Hilton Boulevard area, and this is the main spine road through the community, and this is the area that Tim had just mentioned he was developing. Rather than having our amenity community space focused over here, kind of going into the back of Beacon Hall over on this corner, we reoriented it over to this corner, which is going to be where, I guess, the Thai place is here just across the way. And it would create, an entrance into the town center from the George Mason campus. So this is a plaza area with, tons of seating and gathering space, some green space. The red boxes are single-story retail buildings. So you would see, your community serving retail space. The purple buildings are your pop-up retail, if you've ever seen them in like Mosaic or some of these other mixed-use developments where you've got just a very small building that either serves coffee, serves donuts, something that services the people that are interacting in that space. And then your blue buildings are your larger scale buildings of ground floor retail with 3 levels of commercial space or office space above it. The building over here, we've gone through a couple of different ideas for how to handle our multifamily rental that fits within our town center area. This is a parking structure in the middle, and as Tim mentioned earlier, a wrap building around it with 4 levels of apartments with a pool area there. Again, that pool, as Tim mentioned, is not necessarily a lap pool or a competitive pool, or it's really more of a gathering space for the residents that are inside this building. And then you also have your center core area here, where you've got outdoor seating, outdoor lawn area, and you can do things, whether it be like farmers markets or whether it be just outdoor festivals. I mean, there's tons of things you can do with the space, and we think that by creating the connection throughout the town center for that space, we have something that can be pretty successful. We've done a lot of work in figuring out the elements of the town center with regard to what your sidewalks and what your pedestrian space looks like and how they interact with the streets. A lot of thought gone into that with our planning group from Land Design, or LDC. We've talked about residential details. These are all from our design guidelines that are a commitment from, committed to the rezoning through the process, where we talk about, massing, facades, frontages, again, to make sure we're creating something of the highest quality that we can all be proud of and it's going to be most useful. The Wellington Road area, I don't imagine that you guys are overly concerned about what goes on over on the Wellington Road side, but it is near the campus, so it is important. This is a flex tech space, and with the university campus being a science and technology campus, this will provide some space for people that are coming here, just like in the rest of innovation, people that are coming here to set up shop, and whether it be lab space or manufacturing space or some form of office space, this is what would be located here. The core of the community, obviously, these are different sizes of townhouses and different, 2-over-2 stacked townhouse condominiums as they fit within our amenity space. As I mentioned earlier, this is kind of your center environmental core. This is your pool and clubhouse area, as well as your park area. You've got community gathering spaces over here and over here. We're looking at somewhere, in the realm of 669 for sale units and probably another 200 to 300 rental units inside the town center over here. From a retail standpoint, from a residential standpoint, architecturally, we're trying to create a product that looks a little bit more urban. This is what a 2-over-2 stacked townhouse looks like. It's got a roof deck on top, so your upper unit has outdoor space that actually sits on the top, and this is a little stair access panel and what they call deck space there. These are the single-family attached townhomes, which also have an option for a 4th level outdoor terrace space to create some space there. And again, we build these this type of product. Right now, we've got 2 communities that are under construction or under development next to the Innovation Metro Station in Fairfax, just outside of Herndon, as well as near Fair Oaks Mall and in Loudoun County. So it's kind of a tried and true product, but it does bring value to the area and one we think will add a lot to the project. And that is pretty much the presentation. It's not very long. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have regarding it. Our project. I see there's a question here about when will development begin. Development will be driven mainly by when the rezoning is approved. So it generally takes us, after the rezoning is approved, we have another 12 months of processing site plans through the county. And then the co-host has asked if you start your video. Yes, my camera's not working, so I'm going to try it and see if it works. So we believe that the homes will probably open for sale sometime in 2023, with the town center coming out of the ground at the same time. And the more as we get closer, we'll start figuring out who our users actually are from the town center aspect, and that will, as they come to market, it'll obviously move that process along faster. There's a note here about the price points for the homes. I couldn't tell you, what they're going to be priced down the road. I can tell you that right now, the average 2-over-2 condominium is probably in the $320,000 to $340,000 for the lower unit, and somewhere in the upper $300,000 to low $400,000 for the upper unit. The townhouses are going to fall somewhere in that range also. So you're expecting for sale product to be, in the mid $300,000s to the low $400,000s. Again, you're projecting 3 years out, so you don't really know, but I can tell you that based on our community that just sold out over in Cannon Branch and Manassas, that's generally where we landed.
With regard to the schedule on ours, we are now targeting delivery of the first student housing building the summer of 2024. So they would be ready for the 2024 fall semester.
All right, well, that's all for our questions. I want to thank you both, Tim and Truett, for being here. These plans are amazing, and we're so happy that you were able to share them with us. We really look forward to having them on our campus.
So Carrie, did we get like a GMU hat or something?
You know what? I can look into that. I don't have any in stock, but we might be able to get you a homecoming T-shirt.
Just kidding. I'm fine.
What's your size?
Yeah, email me your size, and we'll get you
Okay.
a homecoming T-shirt.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to the project and what our plans are. And we do look forward to working with Mason as we go forward, because, you know, I think Tim will agree that the only way that this project actually works is if, you know, we have, you know, Mason on board, the county on board, as well as, you know, both developers. So it's truly a team effort at this point.
Let's all stay connected so that we can keep people updated and contemporary over time.
And if we're trying to come up with a better name than University Village at Innovation. So if anybody has any ideas, feel free to throw them our way.
Great. Well, thank you both. Oh, wait, we got someone with a hand raised. Susan. Oh, she disappeared. Susan, did you have a question?
There was a comment, maybe a survey.
Oh, we could do a survey.
Maybe you can do a survey. I don't know how to do a survey.
We could do that.
Survey for you.
All good.
Thanks,
Well,
Truett.
thanks again for having us.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for everyone who attended. This will be going up on our website and our YouTube page. Y'all have a good day.
Have a great day.
Thank you.